I kind of always want the music to continue to go even though we go live, so people can because it unmutes the mic and they can hear what we're adding.
Yeah,
Get the mad scientist.
And we get so into it. Like even when I try not to, the intro music while the numbers are counting down, I try not to. Like,
Like
and then eventually,
music.
You start doing it, and then I'm like, all right,
everybody's just
let's kick in the bass. And then by the end of it, it's like
we got all these.
We're ready for the chorus, and it's like, oh, go live. All right,
and then it goes away, and it's like, oh man, now we're just acapella, but it's okay. Matt McIver, Shelley Wheeler, Shelley. Great to see you. Kyle Nunez, my man with the master plan. Great to see you guys. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. As you see, we're here with Dennis the Menace, the mad scientist from Maryland Cutter.
Hello.
That was an interesting put together of words.
I got that all out, though.
Yeah, you get all of the words, yes.
I was happy about
that.
Matthew Pfeiffer, good to see you. D, thanks for joining us, man.
Hello.
Hey.
Really, we're always happy to have Dennis join us, whether virtually or in real life.
I was just looking through the comments. I'm like, who's D? Who's in here? That's you.
Yeah, that's me.
His name's Dennis.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I call you, C for the Commodore, but your real name.
But
yeah. I like. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it works. Like it wouldn't work for Matt McIver. I couldn't call him M. That makes me feel like James Bond M or Shelley S. Like I couldn't do that. But what up, D? Dennis the mad scientist.
I always like putting an I or a Y on the end of people's names. Like
really?
Yeah.
Dennisy?
Like Deezy.
Shelley E. So thank you guys for joining us, man. This is the weekly wrap-up where we go over the last 6 to 7 days of absolute insanity, and we introduce you to the next couple days of absolute insanity. Shelley sent us some beautiful show notes. Do you have those?
Yep, I do.
Do you have those available? I think we had.
Would you like to see them?
I do. Yeah, it would be fantastic. Sugar hockey iced tea. No. Salt hockey iced tea. What is it? Is it sugar hockey iced tea?
Sugar honey iced tea.
Sugar honey iced tea. I like it. People do call me Maddie.
Sugar honey iced tea.
Michelle Hess, what up, girl?
Sugar honey iced tea.
Is that watermelon sugar?
Yeah.
Watermelon sugar high. Sugar honey iced tea. Oh man, that song, what it's about is terrible. I mean, it's great, but it's not a family show. So yeah, man. On last Monday, we were really happy to have George Finizio. George Finizio,
Georgie.
A musician, a creator, a producer. I mean, this guy was killing it, man.
He was all over the place.
He was all over the place. He's got a ton of YouTube videos up there. He's just killing the ivory keys, baby, getting crazy.
He's a hell of a piano player.
He is a hell of a piano player.
He tickles the keys
and
like no other.
He wrote some good stuff, man. He was a pretty cool guest to have. He was very appreciative. He's very respectful. Really, really kind of cool, especially after somebody like that with such a colorful career and being in the industry for such a long time, be talking to a bunch of schmucks like us and be so cool and chill and down to earth. It was just awesome, man.
So
it was really good.
Hanging out with George.
Yeah, we listened to I've Been a Rainbow Over You, which was great visual creativity. And then The Professor of Blues, which was somebody's favorite song. Whose favorite song was that? They were like, that's my favorite song. I Believe in You.
It was either Kyle.
I don't think it was Kyle.
Or,
shit. No, it wasn't Terry. It wasn't, maybe Jose?
Jose.
It was Jose.
That's right.
Yes.
You're right.
Alvaro. Jose Alvaro. That's right, man. Tuesday we had the You Pick Two poll that we put up. We had 5 songs, and I think last week's was all covers.
That's right.
Yeah, it was all covers. We had some good ones on there, man.
We got a phenomenal memory. You don't even need these notes. I'm gonna look at it.
Blinding Lights by The Weeknd with no E because he's edgy. We had Drive by Incubus off Make Yourself. I asked that last week as well, and I remember Where Are You Going by Dave Matthews. Crazy. Which Crazy was it? Seal or Sugar Honey Iced Tea? Seal. And then Lose Control by Matt Simmons. We did a little flip the pick. We played Come Back to Me, which is the KK newest original. We actually debuted at the Mad Science's house 2 Fridays ago.
I don't get it. The Matt Simmons song.
Why?
Lose Control.
Yeah.
We love playing that song.
That's a good one too.
Nobody ever votes for it.
I think when you match
sad.
it up against Drive and Blinding Lights and I think it's not going to do that well against those two big
matchup.
ones. Yeah.
Every single poll is all formulated the same exact way.
We got some going, don't we? Don't we have some that are at the bottom of the list about to get the axe unless they get a couple more numbers? Lose Control's got to be down there.
We've already taken it off once, and then we're like, you know what? We like to play that, and then it got voted off again.
Also true. Lynn Floyd, good to see you. Hello, everybody. Great to see you.
We're going to have to start replacing some of these songs.
Jose!
I actually kicked one off the list.
Don't tell me what it was. I won't even know it's gone. Yeah, man. So
You won't miss it.
last Wednesday was a good time. This past Thursday, we prepped for Friday's show. We were hanging with Web Show, which was fun, man. It was good to see them. It was really fun. We were celebrating a early Cosplay Michael birthday, and Ian Klein created some. It was actually kind of funny. D, when I reached out, I was like, hey, guys, what do you guys have on the menu for
D
for Friday night? And they were like, hey, we're gonna do some chicken and cheese quesadillas, some chips and salsa.
They did.
Then we're going to do some shrimp jambalaya and sausage jambalaya. And I was like, okay. I'm like, listen, I felt partially defensive because I was like, listen, Dennis, the mad scientist, Maryland, yep, he is the jambalaya guy. But I was like, you know what? It's no problem. It's family. It's Ian Klein.
Give someone else a
I don't have the
shot.
copyright. It's all good.
I agree, but
someone else a
still,
shot at the crown.
there was a tiny piece of me that was like, wait a minute.
It's not the same.
Wait a minute. Listen, we raised our quality of jambalaya when we had the Mad Scientist's jambalaya.
Yeah.
And I like
Yeah.
Ian. I have no reason to not like Ian. But if he were to
Ian's a
create
great guy.
a subpar jambalaya, my comparison to the Great Mad Scientist
subpar,
jambalaya.
You mean sub-mad scientist.
Yes, he sets the par. He is par.
He sets
Anything
the par.
anything less than that, yeah. Anything less than that is it's not. And I didn't want to not like Ian. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
I still
do.
the jury's still out on that one.
Well,
Actually, I didn't even have the jambalaya. How was it? But we had a good time. We had a good time on Friday. We had homemade chips and salsa, chicken and cheese quesadillas, smoked sausage, and shrimp jambalaya.
that whole conversation was completely unfair.
I haven't had it, mate. That's because that's why I said it's like Schrodinger's cat. I either like Ian because his jambalaya was just as good as the Mad Scientist, or I don't like him because it wasn't as good, but I didn't have it. So the jury's still out. So Ian is both my best friend and my worst enemy.
If it's fair than mine, then I'm going to hate him.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And if it's better, we're going to have to kill him. But we had a good
I'm
time.
glad you didn't try it.
Yeah,
though.
me too. We had a good time this past Friday. Huge shout out to everybody that hung out with us last week, man. And a huge shout out to the Mad Scientist for joining us today. We thought it would be a really cool idea to chat. It's always fun to chat with Dennis, always. So Dennis, thank you so much. What up, Les, for hanging out with us, my man. I know we got another pretty cool week ahead of us. We have you joining us here on Monday, which is great. We have a poll going up tomorrow at noon. We have the poll results show on Wednesday. We have Prep for Friday show, which is our social distancing, properly held and respectful album release party that we're co-hosting with Orlando foodie girl Jesslyn.
Orlando foodie girl.
Yeah.
We're gonna have so much fun.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna do.
She's such a bright,
Yeah.
bubbly personality.
Yeah,
she likes to smile.
Yeah, she
I love
messaged me
that.
on Instagram when we were talking about the
Love
show,
that.
and she was like, "Hey," I said, "This might be easier to just talk about it over the phone." So she was like, "Hey, hit me up tomorrow anytime after 11." So about 2:30, when I finally had a second to come up and breathe, I called her and we talked for almost 2 hours, just like about. And she's an awesome. I'm so excited to like for everybody to kind of like learn more about the depth of Orlando foodie girl. It's really really cool.
Yeah.
Like it was such a fun conversation. I'm so excited about Friday. She's excited to have us. Like she was just really great energy, and I think Friday is going to be a really like just how sometimes when we walk into a house you can feel just like the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Like that's going to be Friday's is going to be fire.
We felt it on the interview.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
was
Friday's
there.
going to be awesome, man.
And
So-
that was through wires.
I know, right?
Should we invite Dennis?
He's kind of a popular and busy guy. I don't know, but I mean, we should definitely
He's
invite
probably
him.
busy.
I can't be heartbroken if he says no.
Let's see if he's busy, and then we'll invite him.
I will make time. It's
want
the album
Dennis.
release party. I will be
Hey.
there.
Oh, okay.
Well, yay! Awesome. So just confirm the Mad
you know
Scientist
what?
is joining us on Friday. Hell yeah!
We should play the 5 songs that are on the album.
all 5
on
songs.
Friday night.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yes.
I didn't even think of that
No,
until just now.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Well,
That's a great
that's
idea,
part of an
Dennis.
album
Thank
release
you.
party. You play those. You play what's on the album, so
Yeah,
like, people
I know.
can be like, "Cool, that's what I'm gonna get." Yeah, so we'll rock those, man. So this Friday, our first physical album will be available at Orlando Foodie Girls Party. It has to
Yes.
be a very, very small collection of
Yes.
people because we do want to be careful. You can pre-order it right now on a bunch of different stuff. And January 15th, this Friday, it will be downloadable. So people that have pre-purchased on iTunes, on Amazon, anywhere like that, you're going to get a notification on Friday that it is ready. Your download is ready. They go in systematic distribution. So depending on when you bought it, et cetera, they unleash it at a specific time. But by this Friday, everybody should be able to download their pre-purchase copy of our first album. We're looking forward to a second one. I think we chatted on Friday about potentially doing 5 songs released in January 2021, 5 songs released in January 2022, 10 full band album songs released in January 2023. We just briefly chatted about that.
I think we could speed that up even.
You always think we can speed it up.
I want to.
I know.
I want to. I want to release the 10 songs next January.
Well, I mean, first thing is logistics. Second thing, well, actually, first thing is finance. Second thing is logistics.
All right.
Yeah, full band is that's a big lift. That's a big investment. But we have really great people and good partners, and we have a good community. And I think if they, what I want is I want to get a genuine reaction on this first acoustic album and see really if there is interest, because anybody can pay for their own album. That's fantastic, and congratulations on creating this piece of history. But it's different when there's a demand for it and people truly enjoy your artwork enough to be able to support you, so you can facilitate creating another one, because they are very expensive.
Indeed.
So I definitely want to be able to do that. I want to see what the reaction to this one is. Like, we're too close. We're forest from the trees.
Yeah.
We'll find out though.
I mean, I think it's great.
Yeah, good. So this Friday we're going to be with Orlando Foodie Girl, and the Mad Scientist will be joining us, which is really exciting. She asked me today, she goes, what do you guys want me to cook? I said, you know what, whatever your heart desires, Jesselyn. Whatever you feel motivated to cook, whatever is this burning sensation in your soul. Heart. And she was like, all right, excellent. Is there anything you guys don't like? I was like, we'll pretty much eat everything.
Absolutely not.
We'll eat everything. She
Except
was like,
for
excellent.
Liver, mint,
and if she wants to bring something, I'm happy to whip up something that would coordinate.
I love it even more. Oh, this is going to be fantastic. This is going to be fantastic.
Maybe you could be in charge of the cocktail and the dessert.
Oh, cocktails and desserts is a good idea. That's a great idea.
Take advantage of that.
We'll check.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Oh, she would totally be down for that.
All right.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she's super cool. I bet that'd be a lot of fun. That's Thank you so much, Dee. That's awesome, man.
Absolutely.
Let's say, so if you guys are just joining us, we're talking about the album release party we're having this Friday. We're co-hosting with Orlando Foodie Girl. It's going to be super cool. She's going to be joining us on the show. We're actually crashing her kitchen on Friday. You guys got to check out Orlando Foodie Girl on Instagram. Go there right now. You can open a new tab. It's 2021. You can definitely do that. Right click, boom, new tab.
You want to see some food? So you want to see some beautiful pictures of food?
Yeah.
And some really awesome place.
Shelly's like, I'll be there.
Somebody said cheesecake. I don't know who did. But
the request lines are now open.
Cheesecake with the juicy cherry.
I actually like that. What kind of dessert would you like to see the Mad Scientist whip up for the album release party? We're taking suggestions
cherry
now.
Cheesecake. It's my favorite.
Ultimately, it's the Mad Scientist. He can do whatever he wants, but I would really like to see what people would like to see.
Cherry cheesecake. It's my favorite.
Take a poll.
Would somebody write that in the chat so
make
everybody
a poll?
knows?
I like that. Make a poll. Cherry
cheesecake.
Will somebody,
please?
for the love of all things holy, write in the poll cherry cheesecake so he can stop?
We only need 5.
Did someone say cocktails? Con Nunez says, and then Lynn Floyd. Dennis needs to come up with a walking man cocktail. Okay, Dennis and Kyle, Lynn and Kyle, you need a drink. Both of you guys come up with cocktail ideas in the same minute. 718, both of them, thousands of miles apart.
Walking man cocktail.
Kyle's in Holland. And Floyd is here in Central Florida, and they both talk about cocktails at exactly the same time. Somebody make them a drink. Or you can show up on Friday. That'd be fantastic.
See, Tara wants cherry cheesecake too. Or maybe it's because I told her to write it.
See, that's not fair either, because they share a last name, and now there's some type of conflict of interest there.
I don't think so. I don't see Tara anywhere on the screen.
Tara doesn't have to be visible to be an impending force.
I think she's always there.
Yeah.
She's always just like,
come back to me, cherry cheesecake. The Irish delight. Yeah, you said you have a walking man cocktail, and you've done this before, right? I know we did a drift slide. We did drift cake, sliders. Cola Collider, that's what it was.
So that
was so good.
One for drift slide and collide, and then the walking man cocktail was a coffee drink.
Oh man, that's right.
Oh,
that's right. Yeah, whatever you want. Whatever you want to create, Mad Scientist. You're the Mad Scientist, sir. You know we got your back, Daddy. We got your back. Got it. Yeah. We're like the hype guys behind Dennis.
I like that he called you Daddy.
Walking into the ring with the belt, and we're like behind him swinging towels. Yeah. Woo! Stopping people from giving him high fives. He's trying to give too many, but he's got a little bit of mysteriousness to him, and he's like yeah.
Take it easy, folks.
Yeah, so some people are getting too close. We're like, whoa, back, bro. Easy. We got super soakers. It's fantastic. People would love his entrance if we were a part of it. They'd love his entrance anyway, but how fucking awesome would that be?
Oh, man. I used to do entrances that required theme music, but that was back in the day with Boots and Tights, and that's been a minute.
We'd be like spraying Red Bulls everywhere.
Bud Light and Red Bull. It's terrible. We're getting drunk and we're not able to go to sleep.
I've never
It's
had
terrible.
Red Bull and Bud Light.
And Bud Light? I don't know.
Maybe it's good.
Who knows? We don't know, man. We don't know, but this week's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you guys so much for spending some
know.
time with us, man. We definitely appreciate it. So we're chatting with the Mad Scientist about this upcoming week. We got some good stuff hanging. We got the album release show this Friday with the Orlando Foodie Girl. The Mad Scientist has just signed on to potentially also bring a cocktail and a dessert, which is freaking awesome. Yeah. But today, as opposed to Dennis the Mad Scientist, that is your nightlife. Plus, I'm sure you have some other vigilante names. During the day, you sit in a much different chair as a quote unquote or a titled nurse practitioner.
Yes.
So I was wondering if you would explain to us and to everybody what is a nurse practitioner? Like what does that mean, or what is that? What do you spend your days doing?
Well, a nurse practitioner in a way is a lot like a physician. We do med checks, we do assessments of patients, and in my specialty, I work in psychiatry. So what I do is basically assess people's mental health needs and then come up with a plan of treatment to get them back on track.
I have a question.
Man.
Yes.
You said psychiatry, and I know I've asked this before and it's been answered before, but I always forget the answer. What's the difference between a psychiatrist and a psychologist?
Everybody asks that one, and it's an easy one to get confused on. But a psychiatrist is somebody that does assessment, but also has prescriptive rights. So if you go see a psychiatrist, you're more than likely going to leave there with some kind of prescription. A psychologist is somebody that is a science of behavioral studies. So they're master's or PhD level people that do more along the lines of counseling and therapy.
Gotcha. And you're a psychiatrist.
Yes.
Gotcha. So you're able to prescribe medications and plans to help people deal with whatever they come to you that they're dealing with.
Now, and I'm not a therapist, but I'm chatty, so it kind of works out.
Also true. Fantastic personality.
So those two different doctors, do they deal with different things, like certain I don't want to call it ailment, but like certain things that they go to the doctor for, like require medication, and some just require somebody to talk to?
Yeah.
Like, would somebody see a psychologist and also see a psychiatrist at the same time for the same thing for a different desired result?
A lot of people see two different specialists for the same purpose, where you have somebody that is more specialized in prescribing, but you need to spend more time with talk therapy. I always encourage my patients to take both routes. You got twice as good of a chance of getting better twice as fast when you approach it from two different vantage points. So meds are good. Don't get me wrong. I prescribe a crap ton of them. It's how I'm putting my kid through college. But if you don't do the homework, the meds are going to help the symptoms in the short term. You're dealing with long-term problems that have been built up for a while. It didn't happen overnight. It's not going to get fixed overnight. So talking to somebody and actually getting things off your chest, getting some coaching, a little bit of cognitive behavioral therapy helps also as much as medications.
I get it. So I imagine pairing psychiatry, talking to somebody receiving medications, helps you manage what's going on while you speak to a psychologist and you actually work through the root of the problem so you can manage that and eventually get off of the meds as the plan moves forward and you progress with your psychologist.
Exactly. And some people do need to be on meds long term, but there's a difference between taking meds when you're in an acute state of depression or anxiety versus somebody that's worked on themselves, tried to pull themselves up, and now they just need a little something to keep them managed. So some people don't have to be on meds long term. Some people do. It just kind of depends case by case.
And individual, kind of a la carte. You deal with it individually. Everybody is different, I would imagine. And sure. I would imagine with the dichotomy there and the focus on psychiatry, with everything that kind of happened almost a year ago, because I think we're coming up to about a year when the world started to shift a lot of it. And what everybody thought was going to be 2 weeks was then 2 months, was then 6 months, 10 months, 12 months, and now
isn't that funny?
We're coming up.
Like I thought it was going to be over in like a month.
Everybody did. Yeah. Everybody was. That's what we were all told. And we started talking about a new normal, where people were like, "I'm so excited for things to get back to normal." Then I heard the idea that this is actually we're going to have to learn how to live with this, and this is a new normal that we're realizing right now.
We've changed things.
Absolutely, this will go down in history. Like people, generations and generations will talk about this specific time in our life where the world changed. And I would imagine, Dennis, that you have seen a very interesting shift in people, in either the amount, the quality, the quantity, the clientele, the desires, the traits, and the help that they've needed shift as well. And I would imagine, just assuming there would be a larger influx of people that needed to talk to somebody because they've all been trying to manage and deal with the dynamic change that has impacted everybody's life.
Have you noticed some differences in your practice because of the shift last year?
Well, not to put too fine a point on it, but business has been good. I mean, I've been slammed. There was a point in time that I had a 2-month waiting list to get in as a new patient, which wasn't great. A lot of people were out there really needed to see somebody, and we just didn't have openings. That's since lightened up quite a bit. But when things first started breaking out, a lot of people who were already struggling were struggling that much more. People that were managed were no longer managed. And then there's people who have never been treated for mental health issues before that they just can't cope. So they had to do something. And since I'm doing everything through telemedicine, that gives the opportunity for people to have a consultation in the privacy and the comfort of their own home instead of having to mask up and go sit in a doctor's office for, a couple hours.
What are some of the ways that you have heard about or you've seen people manage this using their own power, their own decisions, like that they can do in their own time, or maybe we've all kind of tried, like hopefully everybody has an outlet for when we're just normal stressed. Some people play video games, some people play music, some people go for walks, some people go to dinner with their friends. Like we all have different ways that we kind of manage our stress and anxiety.
Sure.
What are some of the ones that you've heard about, if you're allowed or if you're able to share, that
Sure.
have helped some people deal with in their own time, in their own right?
Well, there's good coping skills and there's bad coping skills. The bad ones are people that tend to overeat. They're kind of filling the void with food and it's immediate gratification. Smoking a little bit too much, drinking a little too much, partying a little too hard. Or the partying thing's kind of limited because you can't leave the house that much, but putting yourself in harm's way just to get out to be around people, doing things that might make you feel good in the short term, but in the long term, it's like, oh shit, why did I do that? But then we have the good coping skills, watching your diet, exercising regularly, doing meditation. Jay mentioned yoga earlier. Great way of dealing with stress and finding your center. I find that the people that are really thriving through this are those that have a creative outlet. Use that downtime. You're stuck at home anyway. Create something. Make something new out of nothing. And it kind of gives you a chance to focus in a more positive direction. Now, those that can't kind of get out of their own heads, they struggle. They feel like they're drowning. But the ones that can actually find a way of getting this outward actually have a fighting chance.
Yeah, it felt like there was a huge expectation within our society that for some odd reason the slate was going to be wiped clean and we got to start fresh on January 1st at 12 a.m. There was
it's not 2020
yeah,
anymore.
there was this
Bye.
huge push where people were like, oh, I can't wait for 2020 to be over and 2021 to start. I'm so over this year. And in my mind, I'm thinking, I understand what I think you're saying, but I don't want there to be a false expectation of when you wake up on January 1st, everything is somehow completely wiped clean. And I think a lot of people are struggling with the fact that it was just another day. It was like December 32nd, and then December 33rd of 2020, because we're still dealing with the same issues. And even some of the items that I've seen recently are that we have cases going up. We have more cases going up here and here. We have a second strand that's now made it over to this country, and there's more interest. There's more media, and you take that and you couple it with everything else that's going on in the normal world, the politics, the science, all the disarray that we're in when it comes to normal social construct, and then on top of that, dealing with what we're still dealing with in 2020, and on top of that, having to support not only ourselves but also to be a healthy, supportive pillar for our friends and family around us. And it just seems like so much weight.
A lot of people think time is just a linear thing. That whole new year, new me concept, that's fine if you're actually going to make legitimate change. But it doesn't always work out that way because some things you can't change. Just because it's a new calendar year, whatever carried over from 2020, it's still present and probably will be for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, like if you had debt, your debt doesn't get wiped away on December 31st, 11:59 p.m.
It's the same thing as like, oh, I can't wait for things to get back to normal. And then like they're just setting a date on when it's going to be normal. Like it's going to be normal after December 31st.
And if it's not normal, then what? People look forward to this thing, and if it doesn't happen, I think there's a little bit of a fall in like, oh man, like that didn't happen.
I think what helped me a lot is like instead of waiting things waiting for things to get back to normal. Like, accept what is happening right now.
Yeah,
like
create
whether
a new
it's
normal.
going to get back to normal or not. Like,
Yeah.
it could
No,
go
no,
either
no.
way. I don't know.
No.
Probably not. But
Yeah, it never will.
accept
It's not
like
possible.
what's happening right now. Like,
Yeah.
how do I deal with what's happening right now without any regard of how much better it's going to get or how much worse it's going to get?
Yeah.
How do I deal with right now?
Yeah, and I think everybody, I think to a degree, everybody is already on that journey without all this added stress, without all this added fear, and then you add that on top of it. It's like, man, not only was it kind of difficult to move forward through life anyway, just because like people always say, like, you have a plan, the universe has a different plan, or there's something that happens every day. We're already dealing with that. And then on top of that, dealing with everything else. And then 2021 happens. And it's almost like what Dennis had said previously, and we were kind of talking about that pre-show, was there are some things in 2021 that we can't change, but what we can change is how we respond to them, how we react to them, how we let it impact us. You know, it's like, okay, because you're right, there are some things we can't change, but we most certainly can focus on shifting our perspective or our mindset. Mm-hmm. You know, so it's the things that are in our control, which I think we have more under our control than we acknowledge that we have, because it's a level of responsibility I think people aren't ready for. You know, for some people, it's easier if it's their fault that I'm unhappy, or it's their fault that I'm angry, or it's their fault that I'm upset. When honestly, it's our response to those things. The analogy I said the other day was, if somebody came up to you and called you a really bad name and tried to hurt your feelings, and somebody came up to you and yelled that to you in Russian, would you have the same response? He's saying the same exact thing to you, exact word for word. But how are you going to respond to the Russian the same way? No, you're not, because you don't understand what they're saying to you. So you're like, okay, great. So if you have that same exact response to the person trying to hurt your feelings, you're going to have the same outcome, which is, I'm fine. I did not let it impact me at all. You know, so I think the mindset has a big part to do with it. But again, that's why I wanted to talk to Dennis about it, to see, like, aside from the psychiatrist with the medication, the psychologist with more of the working on this and talking it through and kind of working through the therapy of that issue, where does mindset come into play? And does it fall in psychology as much as it falls in psychiatry?
Well, I think it's a little bit of both. I think that we deal with a lot of changes in habits from both spectrum of mental health professionals. But I do think that the very basis of therapy, which can be translated into both roles, is cognitive behavioral therapy. And the basis of that is taking small, obtainable goals that you can actually reach. When you try to change things that you have no control over or couldn't possibly do, you're going to set yourself up for failure. But if you can take small pieces of what you're trying to accomplish and recognize that these are things that I can handle, these are the things I have control over, and you work on those things and you gradually build yourself up, it's no different than exercise. You know, nobody's going to go to Gold's Gym at, $160 and walk over to the weight bench, start cranking out 300 pounds on the bench press. No, it takes a little while to get up to that. So you start off at a lighter weight and you build up from there. You can control your diet. You can control your exercise. You can seek out help from a mental health professional if you legitimately need to see somebody. And a lot of people out there are hesitant to seek help, but having that moment of clarity to realize, I don't have this. I don't have it. I need to get some help. That is scary, but it's a step that you can actually control and go into the right direction of actually getting better.
And probably the healthiest step you can take. Like, I think there's a huge stigma behind it. Like, oh my God, if you have to talk to somebody, oh, there's something wrong with you. Listen, there's nothing ever wrong with talking to somebody. I recommend that everybody have somebody they can talk to. Like, I think it's just a healthy thing to have. Some people, like, they look at, a while ago, I got into a conversation with a musician and I asked them who their vocal coach was. And they took offense to it. They were like, what, you think I need a vocal coach? I was like, dude, Michael Jordan had a coach. Tiger Woods had a coach. LeBron James had a coach. These are the greatest in the world. Of course they had a coach. What are you talking about? So why is it so bad to have a mental health coach? Somebody you can talk to, somebody you can work through with, that may be able to see the forest from the trees and give you a little more guidance, because they have a higher perspective, an objective perspective, where they can look down and they say, okay, Dennis, this is what I'm hearing you say. This is what I believe is happening. And this may be a path to healing that we can work on together.
And a lot of people are scared or too prideful to ask for help when they need it. And I got to tell you, what I hear more often than not from people that are trying to get established is, am I going crazy? Well, no, you're not going crazy. You're struggling. You're stressed. You have a lot on your plate, but it can be dealt with. And when you realize that, you're not in need of going to an asylum or something like that. People are scared that, oh, if I say the wrong things to the psychiatrist, he's going to Baker Act me. That's not necessarily the case. If you're in imminent danger, yeah, you're probably going to the hospital. But if it's something that just requires figuring it out, do a little brainstorming, find out what's the right path to get you back on your feet again. It's a lot simpler than a lot of people think.
I've run into this a couple times, and another thing that I've noticed is people don't realize that they actually do need help. I've run across a lot of people that know that they can do it on their own. They know that they can take those small steps and make the goals and progress and progress and progress. Myself included. Like before I sought before I sought someone to talk to, I wanted to do it myself. I wanted to better myself. I wanted to improve myself by doing those little things and setting the goals. And then you get to a certain point, you're like, man, I do need to talk to somebody.
Yeah, I mean, it only gets to the point that you start exhausting what's in your control. What you have easily available to you, and sometimes you don't even see what the problem really is until you have somebody to kind of reflect off of, and have them kind of, point out some things that are actually the real problem at heart.
Yeah, and a couple things I wanted to put this up because this Shelley had put this comment up that walking with her daughter helped her a lot. And it's not just walking with the daughter, it's the conversation that you have. It's the energy
Quality
that you
time.
have. Yeah, exactly. That quality time with somebody that's close to you. Matt Pfeiffer put up a really good question because I don't think we've addressed this yet. So it sounds like he had an experience where he had a counselor who didn't listen or didn't care. And I'm sure they're out there.
That happens a lot.
When you're in a position like this and you've sought out counseling, which sometimes is hard enough to do anyway, it's hard enough to admit I need to talk to somebody, and you do it, and then you're paired with a counselor that you're not vibing with, you're not grooving with. Yes, you can seek another counselor, but what's the best way to address that? Like how would somebody who's experiencing that and doesn't feel satisfied with the counseling they're receiving, what's the best way for them to go about addressing it when we're already experiencing some anxiety to even do it in the first place?
Well, I can really relate with what Matt's saying is, a lot of people go and have a negative effect or a negative situation with a counselor. And you're going to somebody and you're opening up. You're bearing your soul and your most intimate details and everything that makes you tick, everything you've stressed out about, everything that keeps you up at night to a complete stranger.
Something you've never said to anyone else ever in your life.
You probably haven't even said out loud.
Yeah, because if you say it out loud, then it becomes real.
It's real. Exactly.
It takes form as soon as it leaves your mouth. But a counselor is somebody that you're building a relationship with. A psychiatrist is somebody you're building a relationship with. And it's just like any other relationship. If you don't like what you see on Tinder, swipe left, bro. There's a lot of other people out there that, might be a better fit. And everybody's got their own personality. Everybody's got their own ways of doing treatment. Right. So if you don't like what you're getting, go see somebody else. But before you do that, speak to the person that you're seeing before you leave, because you might not be on the same page as that person. Sometimes we have to be our own best advocate and say, okay, I've gone to therapy. I've been a couple sessions in. I don't feel any different. Here's what I want to talk about. Because a lot of times therapists will take the lead and they'll carry on the conversation if you don't give them anything to work with.
Sure. But if you have something you specifically want to address, be upfront and transparent and honest with them and say, listen, this is something I would like to talk about. This is something that's been weighing my mind. Can we focus on this today?
For example, I'm actively struggling in my job, right? That's the source of my stress right now. I don't want to talk about my issues with mom and dad when I was 10 years old. Right now, I'm struggling with my career. Right. That's what I need to talk about. So you have to sometimes take the reins and be your own best advocate.
Yeah, and I think it's really good to be able to do that and recognize when you know what you need to talk about. When like, man, some people go in and I imagine they say, I don't know what's causing all this stress. I don't understand. Like, my job's great, my relationship's great, my bills are great, my kids are great, but I have this overwhelming weight of anxiety and stress and fear and hopelessness. Like, where is that coming from?
Do you get that?
Oh, yeah.
Do you get that from some patients?
I've got patients who have everything going for them. Great job, great family, good relationship, healthy family, no issues with abuse growing up, popular people, successful people. But sometimes even that is not enough. Sometimes it could be situational, sometimes it could be chemical. Sometimes people have a chemical imbalance that makes them prone to feel depressed anyway. Everything could be going great, but they need a little something to balance them out. That's where the antidepressants come in. But sometimes people have this wonderful thing called imposter syndrome, where they think that they're not deserving of the success that they've had. And that's a hard thing to work through. And a lot of people who are reasonably successful, they stop and they look around and they do either one of two things. They are accepting of the blessings that they've earned, or they doubt it. And then they start self-sabotaging. And then they can't be happy with being happy. It's a miserable thing, but it happens more often than you think.
And it sounds so cyclical. It sounds like they just get stuck in this destructive circle where like they self-sabotage, then they have to rebuild everything. And they do, and they get to that certain point, and then they self-sabotage again. They have to rebuild everything, and they do until they get to that point. And here we go, over and over and over again. It's interesting. Matt McIver put up, totally Commodore, my bosses at work helped me realize I needed help. He spelled realize with an S. I like Matt. That's that true stuff right there. We got to Americanize everything. I thought it was being strong to not seek help. And that is the stigma that I'm referring to. And the
Especially
fantastic part is my man Matt McIver is from Northern Ireland. I mean, this dude ain't down the block experiencing the same kind of reaction to something that he's felt before we even knew each other. So there's a global stigma that it seems is attached to quote unquote seeking help. And that's exactly. Well, and that's a crazy thing right there.
I get the being strong thing and the stigma behind that, but I think myself, I'm speaking from my own experience. Like I wanted to do it myself. Not that that was me being strong, or like I wanted to have or at least cultivate the strength to work through.
That's definitely you being strong, of course.
My issues.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say that absolutely is you saying I can do this. I can work through this. I can do this on my own. I can manage this myself. You know, like I don't need help moving this table. I don't need help moving the piano. I can do this myself. You know, it's like, okay, cool. You know, so to a degree, I think it is you are being mentally and emotionally powerful and strong.
Some people can do it alone. Some people can't. And knowing the difference.
It depends on what your lift is. If moving a chair is one thing, moving a piano is something different.
Yeah, no.
You know, like if you're dealing with a little problem, it's like, okay, let me see if I can manage this on my own. You know, and then sometimes it's those big problems.
Expectations.
Yeah, of course, man. I think everybody, I don't want to say we struggle with it, but I think it's something that we all kind of run into, even as children. You know, no, I got it. I can do it. I don't need your help. You don't have to set that. I don't need that. You know, I'll do it. And then as adults, we're not just moving a ladder. You know, now we're trying to shift our entire mindset to deal with a global pandemic. And some people are like, cool, I need to talk to somebody. And some people don't do that. You know, it's and it's got to be an interesting journey for everybody individually. You know, like for Matt saying, I thought it was being strong to not seek help. Some people do think it is being strong, not seeking help. Look at law enforcement. A lot of them absolutely refuse to talk to anybody about anything that they're going through. They refuse because they see it as a weakness, and you have to be strong. You know, and there's such a stigma there because some of the things that first responders and police and firemen and what they deal with, like I couldn't even imagine in the military trying to deal with all that.
I grew up in a law enforcement household. Yeah.
You know, man.
And there's a reason why I see a lot of people who are first responders at this point. One, because, you know, they know that I'm a cop's kid and I have some empathy there, but it's finally getting to the point that they're being pushed into it. If you want to save your career and save your health and, you know, actually make it to where you can earn a pension, you're probably going to get some help. Absolutely.
And I think one of the things is a lot of people feel alone sometimes. You know, like there's some really good stuff up here. I'm just going through them all. I can't even pick them all. Like Les is talking about how cooking is his happy place. You know, and like me too, Les. I've discovered something very similar when it comes to cooking. Absolutely. And cultivating a team. Absolutely. You know, like the shared emotion of having a team and friends that you're able to like share those ideas with, and just building a healthy team with a unified vision, then achieving that goal. And he talks about partnership. Lucky to have a partner you can come home and just let out and it's fine. She listens and does the same, helping each other in this way has made our bond so much stronger. And again, it's tough to say how you feel. And it is for some people. For some people, it's much easier. For some people, it's not that easy. And he brought up Tony Robbins, which Tony Robbins is awesome. I recommend everybody listen to Tony Robbins, make up your own mind. But he says some fantastic stuff, man. He has some fantastic content. You know, he's got a great voice and he's tall. He's got great eye color. Really good hair.
Those teeth.
Yeah. Oh, those teeth, bro. Those are like Steve Harvey teeth.
Chompers.
We use a lot of what Tony Robbins has to say about disciplines of love and friendship because it's profound and very, very appropriate. Like, check it out, guys. You can go listen to so much Tony Robbins on YouTube. There's so many great people to listen to. Like, Tony Robbins, just one of many fantastic people.
I've got 2 of his audiobooks.
Yeah, nice. Joe Schreiner brings up a really good idea. Art and music are so therapeutic. And this is a huge one. He says a can-do attitude is awesome. And I think we talk about this all the time when we talk about mindset. We talk about like having the idea in your mind that you can achieve it, you can do it, you can overcome it. You will feel what it feels like to be successful. You know, you can feel what it feels like to cross the finish line. And that's how I try to do it. I try to envision what it's like holding the product in my hand and then manifesting it. Not the struggle, not the steps it took to get there, but ultimately what am I going after? And it's this thing here. You know, so, and everybody has their own thing. You like, for me, that's what works, and everybody else kind of finds their own thing. But you know, I think everybody in here is really sharing a lot of cool stuff. Thank you guys, Les. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Shelly and Joseph. Thank you for opening up and sharing all this cool stuff with us, man. Like, the Commodore was on one hell of a journey in 2020. It was interesting to watch, and he's an incredibly powerful person. He managed a lot of that stuff on his own, which it influenced his diet. It influenced his sleeping habits. It influenced his social circle. It influenced his daily structure, and it was very interesting as a watcher, as a viewer.
I bet that was interesting.
It was very interesting to see it happen. I have to say I'm super proud of the Commodore because he purposely went through some darkness to come out on the light side, and he did, and he's emerging more and more all the time, which is where I think his connection to yoga got stronger.
I've been into meditation for many years now, and I do it more and more because I see a lot of benefit in it over time. Just like little things throughout my day at work, just my thought process, being present, being able to pay attention, being able to remember, being calm is a huge thing.
Yeah.
I always saw myself as a very positive person. But there are times at work where it gets stressful and stuff just keeps happening and happening. I'm like, oh my god, and then I would just blow, just blow up, and I find that happening less and less because of the meditation, and I truly believe it's because of that. And then
there's a lot of evolution there, Jay.
Yeah,
big time.
And then the yoga came from I like to work out. And I'm always looking for like something that I enjoy, because you're not going to work out if you don't enjoy it. Write that down.
You're not going to do anything if you don't
like
enjoy
to run. You're not going to run.
No.
So,
don't
I'm
run.
always,
Do
I'm
something
always
else.
looking for a workout program that I enjoy.
Yeah.
And
you
I
look forward to.
And I look forward to
Yeah,
it.
you tell me a lot. You're like, man, we have this thing coming up.
Dude.
This next one is going to be super freaking cool.
It's so
Dude, when
much
I
fun.
walked into the garage the other day, I don't know what in God's name you were doing, but that was freaking awesome.
It was pigeon pose.
That
for those of you
was
who know.
crazy. And I asked him, I said, man, how long does it... And you said something about... There was a saying in there. It's not about getting in the position. It's about...
He was talking about stretching.
Right.
And stretching isn't a destination or a specific spot that you have to put your arms or your legs. It's about the sensation.
Right.
Because you're just stretching it out.
Gotcha.
Like, you don't want to you don't want to rip your tendon in half just to put yourself in the position that the dude on the video is doing.
Right.
But like,
and Dennis brought that up earlier about it being an obtainable goal. You know, and I think that's really realistic too when people think of their New Year's resolutions. People are like, I don't understand. Why do you got to have a New Year's resolution? Listen, it's a good starting point for people. Get off their back. If they want to start something on January 1st, start it on fucking January 1st and leave everybody alone and let them do what they want to do. Encourage them. Why would you berate somebody? Why don't you just do it last year? Listen, dude, you know what? Hell yeah, bro. I got your back. 100%. But making them obtainable.
Instead of crapping on them for trying something different, why don't you be supportive?
Yeah, be supportive. Come up with something that you're going to try on January 1st. It's just a fun time. Like, that's it, man. Like, oh, January 1st gives me a reason to do whatever. Yes, you could do it any time, but it's just a fun starting spot. You know, and like, man.
I picked January 1st for a specific thing. But then like a couple days later, I think it was January 3rd actually, that I saw a post. I follow Dave Ramsey on Facebook. And
Another great one.
He put up a post about like the 7 areas of goal setting. And I looked at that and I'm like, oh, that's a very well-rounded list of 7 areas.
Oh, yeah, we talked about this.
To put goals in.
For sure.
So that right then, I wrote down goals for every single one of those 7 areas. And it wasn't because it was New Year's. It was because I saw that post.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's a really great idea, and I did
Just
it.
happened to be.
And that's I'm still following all 7 of them.
Yeah, good. Absolutely, man. You know, and Matt brings a sense of reality here. I wanted you guys to see this. In Northern Ireland, there's a lot of just man up and get on with it. We grew up with people getting killed a lot. The mindset is your anxiety isn't as bad as what we used to go through here. As a reflex, we joke about everything, but few people talk. Isn't it great when you start to talk about your problem, you realize you are in the majority? You know, and that
Yeah, you think you're not, but you actually are in the majority. I think that's a misconception too.
and that part right there, your anxiety isn't as bad as what we used to go through here. So it's like almost like saying, "Oh, think you have it bad? I used to walk to school uphill in the snow both ways." Like, "Oh, you think you had it bad? Well, I had it bad." And the generation told
one-uppers.
them the same thing. They're like, "Oh, you have to walk to school? Are you kidding me? We had to build the school." So don't worry about dealing with what you think is anxiety because you don't even know what it's like to be me, which is totally a disconnective way to not have empathy for anybody at all. And that's not a healthy way to manage it, I would imagine.
I actually get that from patients a lot where they say, I don't even know why I'm here because other people have it worse than me. But you're sitting in front of me and you're telling me that your life is not what you want it to be. And you don't feel like you're in control and you don't feel happy. You don't feel safe. Okay, so that's enough.
You need to be here.
It doesn't have to be, something globally catastrophic, even though we're kind of going through that anyway.
Exactly.
Your struggle is your struggle.
Everything we're already dealing with. It's crazy. And when Jay was talking about, or the Commodore was talking about earlier about stretching, and it's not about the position, it's about this the sensation. Same thing with the mind. It's the same thing with the mind. Yes, we all want to be 100% happy and 100% satisfied, but it's not necessarily about that destination. If you set yourself up for failure and on day one of walking into the weight room, you try to bench press 300 pounds, you're setting yourself up for failure. So if you think one conversation with a psychologist or a psychiatrist and you're going to be perfectly happy, don't go in there with that, because if you set yourself up for failure, you're going to hurt yourself. It's not about that destination. It's about that sensation, the feeling of healing, the feeling of growth, the feeling of evolution. And then one day you'll wake up and realize you are happy. You are satisfied. But it's every day. Every day is different for everybody. I try to look at it day by day by day. Like, what was today like? Today was this. And tomorrow, will I carry some of my stress and anxiety into tomorrow? I try to carry only what I absolutely have to, because I have to take care of it. I have to finish it. But everything else, if I can't change it, it is what it is. There it is. I'm going to learn from it. I'm going to move forward. And I think a lot of people spend a lot of time looking behind them in their past, and they're getting ready to run into a freaking door, because they're not looking forward. But
I've done that.
But ditto. I remember running into the pole of a stop sign one time. I was like 7 or 8, and I was at like summer camp or something, and like a bunch of us were walking down the block to like the ice cream shop. I was walking with my friend Derek, and I was just talking to him, and I ran right into like one of those heavy like metal poles that go into the ground that hold like a stop sign. Yeah. They're relentless. They do not move.
I was probably about the same age, and I was running away from my sister in the house. She was chasing me through the house. Mom did not like that. We ran out through the living room, through the kitchen, out into the garage. When we came back into the house, the pantry door was open in the runway. Oh God. And I ran right into it.
Assuming it was closed.
Assuming it wasn't there. Yeah.
Okay.
I was looking back to see where she was, and I looked back and wham,
Bip.
right on the right there.
I ran into a spider web doing that one time with a banana spider in it. Then it got on my face. It wasn't fun. It kind of freaked me out a little bit. But yeah, always look where you're going, or you're going to run into a spider or a door, and you don't want either of those to happen. A great metaphor for life. But it's interesting to kind of see how people are managing it with everything going on in the world. And then aside from that, all of the individual struggles that people try to manage anyway. Healthy relationships, their job, their finances, their children, their friends, their family. And then on top of that, they're dealing with the added weight of everything going on with politics right now, everything going on with the world right now. And I feel there's a lot of people out there that draw all the energy in, and they hold on to stress with things that they can't do anything about. Like, I watch people every single day get into it on politics, and they lose friends, and they're so stressed out, and they're so upset, and they're so depressed. And it's hard to not care, but it's also easy sometimes to slip into it, and where it's like their emotion is connected to this humongous machine that they have absolutely no control over at all, and they're specifically a passenger and a slave to how this thing is moving along. And it's like you said earlier, try to be able to understand what you can control and what you cannot control. And man, that's hard to draw that line sometimes.
It's hard to let go of stuff you can't control.
Sometimes.
It is. It's a learned skill, I think.
And I say sometimes, most of the time, I hope that it feels liberating for people when they finally do let go of something, and they're like, "Why didn't I do that sooner?"
And sometimes it's not like oh, I can't change that. I can't do anything about it. It's about how you react to something that you can't change.
Sure.
Like, what can I do differently to make this easier for myself?
Yeah.
Or make it better? I don't know.
Yeah.
There's always something you can do yourself.
You think so?
Always.
Thoughts?
I think so.
Thoughts, mad scientist? Do we have the power? Is there always something that we can do ourselves to help ourselves in any situation?
There is always something that can be done. There's always something that can be done. And it may mean that you don't have the best resources to do the things that you would like to do, but you got to realize what you can control and what you can't. And sometimes it's just a matter of knowing that you can't keep making unrealistic expectations about what you can't control. I mean, it kind of goes right back to that again, that if you can't change the political spectrum, but you can vote.
Right.
You
Right.
can march peacefully with people that are protesting. If you don't like the way things are, you can vlog, you can blog, you can write, you can be part of the process of whatever's bothering you. And that way you're not just letting the world pass you by. You can't change everything on your own, but you can be part of the solution if you actually invest your resources into what you want changed.
Yeah, that's a really good idea. Shelley brought up a really good point as well. It's a great question. Dennis, what resources do you suggest for people who don't know where to turn to or feel that they don't have anyone to talk to?
Well, friends and family are good. It's a good place to start, just to have that one or more people in your life that you can vent to. Granted, friends and family are great, but sometimes they smile and nod and tell you what you want to hear, or they'll tell you what they think you should do. May or not be the right decision. A lot of times, if you're looking for a medical professional who is specializing in mental health, a good place to start is with your insurance. If you have health insurance. If you don't have health insurance, it could be just a simple Google search to find out therapists in your area who are taking on new patients. There are apps. There's things like Better Health and Calm. I love Calm. I use Calm. Calm is like a guided meditation program that's
what I use.
Love it, man. I mean, it's fantastic and it's inexpensive. There are a lot of resources out there that can help you better your mental health. It's just a matter of figuring out what you need to work on and finding somebody that specializes in that area.
Yeah, and I think it's a really good idea when the Commodore said that everybody can do something to help themselves, and it
Yes.
could be something as simple as downloading an application just to try it. We're not saying it's going to fix everything. We're not saying it's going to fix anything, but we're also not saying that it won't not fix anything. Like, it's your own
At
journey.
least you're making
but
an effort.
yeah, getting something like a simple application to download it, and like Dennis said, it's a guided meditation. It's just there to help. I mean, and this is a recommendation coming from somebody who deals with this every single day. Which is really great. So there's something that you can do. Like Shelley said, she loves going on walks. Les loves to cook. Like, there's always those I don't want to say self-medicating, but there's those things that we can do ourselves that help us manage whatever we're trying to manage. But again, sometimes people struggle with, when do I draw the line in the sand to where I'm helping myself compared to now it's time for me to talk with somebody else.
Right.
And that has to be very interesting for people to determine that.
Or if what you're doing is leading to a bigger problem, or you're not making progress and you're stuck in the same rut, you got to do something different.
Yeah. And that's the thing, they talk about insanity, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. The only thing that I will say goes against that is chopping down a big tree with an axe. So because it's not going to fall over in the first shot, it may not fall over on 100 shots. I mean, keep hitting that bitch. But also know when to put the axe down and hire a guy with a chainsaw.
Bingo.
Sometimes that's what you need.
I'm tired.
Yeah. I'm tired. Yo, come in here and do this.
I just got little itty bitty arms.
Yeah. Matt McIver said, and I wanted to put this up there because I like Matt McIver. He said, it doesn't work for everybody, but he takes a lot of comfort in God. It's great to feel a part of something bigger than yourself.
I like the concept of higher power.
Yeah,
lending your stress over to something that you believe in that's bigger than you, there's comfort in that. And
absolutely.
I grew up in the church myself. I'm not a devout Christian at this point, although I do still consider myself Christian by faith and by practice. People can't go to church like they used to because of the whole social distancing thing. But you can do as much praying, mowing your yard as you can sitting on a pew with a bunch of overdressed people and giving 10% of your gross income to the house.
I love this guy. I've asked the question specifically in religious conversations. And again, I was raised with a specific denomination. I spent a lot of time learning about it. When I went to college, I started learning about all different types of religions. So it's not coming from a point of ignorance. But my question is always, if the relationship between myself and a higher power is personal, why do I have to share it with people? Now, I will say this. Sometimes it's nice to be in a group of people that have a shared vision. You're singing together. You're spending time together. There's something motivational. There's something inspirational about it. But that doesn't have to be the only time that you celebrate your relationship with this higher power. As the Commodore said before, again, everybody can do something on their own. Like a lot of people's
a beautiful thing.
Yeah, a lot of people
having other people who are like-minded to talk to and bounce ideas off of. You have a social circle around you that can kind of support you, but it's not mandatory.
And having those people
Agreed.
and having the community or having other people to be around, it's key to know that they believe the same thing that you believe, whatever it is, because it makes you less scared to share what's going on.
Yeah, you're more open.
Because they have the same belief system as you.
And don't trap yourself in an echo chamber, but most certainly it's nice to have people that have that shared vision, that shared emotion, so you do feel, and I do feel, a little more comfortable and open.
It's supportive.
To be able to share it. Absolutely.
Really, I like the fact that you bring up the echo chamber concept, because in as much as it is good to have people of a same mindset and the same background and the same faith to back you up, you also need to not limit yourself to that congregation.
Agreed.
It's good to talk to other people who don't share your beliefs, to have an external perspective, because when people start having just one set mindset and you stop there, then you can't interact and support the world outside.
Yeah.
You isolate yourself even though you're in a group.
Yeah, you cannot fill a cup that is already full.
Right.
It's and to go back, Dark Sage was joining us from Twitch, and he put up, now this is a political statement, but is a little it's open ended, which I really kind of like. He said, as a Biden supporter myself, we need to talk to Trump supporters and find common ground on issues we have. I would say this: people need to talk to people, and they need to find common ground issues with things we have. Everyone in America should be fighting for a better nation. A nation that is fair and treats everyone how they should be treated. Whatever you may think of Trump, he spoke to them in a way that Biden never could, or an average person. All of us together need to fight for a better America. Now, that is Dark Sage. That's what he feels. That's what he's passionate about. And millions of people agree with Dark Sage. What I like that he's saying is we need to find common ground. We need to find common ground in so many different things. And common ground is there if we want to find it. It's there for religion. It's there for politics. It's there for technology. It's there for absolutely everything, friends and family. Finding that common ground has to be done by both sides. Both sides have to be willing, I feel, to find that common ground. If one person's like, hey, I want to build my half of the bridge to make this relationship healthy, and the other person says, I don't want to do that,
then you have no bridge.
Then you've got no bridge. Absolutely. And we need to know when to turn away from that and focus on another bridge that we can heal, another bridge that we can build, another common ground that we are able to achieve.
You don't have bridges, you have walls.
Yeah, exactly. And when it comes to that, it really is about not only the common ground in your life when it comes to when do I deal with this, when do I manage this, when do I get out of my echo chamber, when do I stay surrounded by people that have a shared minded vision. But you can take that specific thing from life and apply it to religion and apply it to politics, apply it to science, and we'll learn so much, especially from the people that have ideas that we disagree with. Like we learn so much from music that we don't necessarily like. So to hear that left side and that right side and hear all of the information, then we get to sift through what we believe and what we think is true, but we're going to learn so much. And I think that's a big part of trying to deal with this specific thing is, when do I talk to somebody? When do I manage it on my own? When do I talk to a family member? Like you said, sometimes family members are just going to nod and tell you if it's going to be okay, or they're not going to know what to say, or they're going to say things like, get over it. Or it's no big deal, or I don't understand the problem anyway. I had it so much worse.
Suck it up and be a man.
Yeah, exactly. Suck it up and be a man, or suck it up and be a woman, or whatever. And that may not be the best information to receive from people to help you on your path of healing.
Yeah.
So, but it's so coming into this 2021, we just finished our first week. It wasn't as brand new and different as everybody thought it was going to be. It was kind of just like 2020 because we're still managing the same things. But I think it is a great opportunity for people to look at this and say, this is a good opportunity for me to shift my mindset, take a step out of what I did all last year, reassess with how I'm managing things, and maybe consider speaking with somebody, whether it's a friend, whether it's a family member. Some people aren't comfortable talking to anybody. They just deal with it in their own, in the darkness of their own private mind, and reach out and talk to somebody. And if you need to reach out and speak with somebody, like Dennis said, it's as easy as a simple Google search. Applications like Calm. What was the other one you mentioned? You mentioned two of them.
Better Health.
Better Health.
That's an online counseling service.
Yeah, and these are things that can be done from the comfort of your own home. They're private. They're protected. You don't have to worry about anybody judging you. You don't have to worry about anybody getting upset with you because of your opinion. You can talk openly with somebody who cares about, ultimately, you being happy in your mental health. Which I don't mean for it to sound so easy, because it's still quite difficult for some people. But everybody in this chat has shared a personal experience that they've gone through. And it sounds like a lot of people in this chat have reached out and sought help previously. And
those are
they've
the kind of friends you need to talk to, by the way. Find out other people's experience with it. If they've had
they're talking about their positive experiences. Yeah,
yes.
Absolutely. Shelley
Everybody
Wheeler.
call Matt.
Man, we have a great community. Thanks for sharing your time and knowledge with us, Dennis. Faith is personal, but community is beautiful. Lots of people to help you along the way. Again, sharing with people who don't believe what you do is essential. Open-mindedness, a wide open hand for shaking, but not right now. And again, by all means, check out the application Better Health and Calm. Share it with your friends. If it's something that you found success with, share it with your friends. Post it. Hey, this is what I use. This is what helped me this way. Here's a link to a free download.
Yeah, one more word about meditating.
Yeah, do your thing.
I think there's a huge misconception of meditating, and I'm not gonna go into it right now. But Calm, just in the guided meditations, they explain a lot about what you're actually trying to do when you're meditating. So it's a very helpful tool, not only to have a guided meditation and have like that practice and like a motivation to do it every day, but like a lot of the things that she talks about in the daily Calms. Explains what's happening when you're meditating and the purpose of meditating and how to do it properly. So it's a very, very good resource.
Nice. And what is that again? Calm.
Yeah.
And
I still use it every day.
Is there a paid version of Calm, or what's the difference? Okay.
There's a paid version and a free version.
Gotcha. And you think the free version is a good place to start if you enjoy the free version and you feel some dynamics growth there? Then maybe the paid version may help you even more.
Absolutely.
I think it's like $6 a month. And
it's not expensive.
Dude, you can't put a price on your mental health, baby.
I'm not going to say like that's super cheap because a lot of people have different money situations. However, it is way more than $6 worth of value that you're getting out of
exactly.
That, especially if you use it every day. Holy crap.
Yeah,
utilize.
You can actually sleep. You can actually catch your breath. You can actually feel like you got a handle on the situation. Yep. And I'll tell you, man. Then you can see something in person.
Yeah, somebody who has experienced what it's like to feel sleepless, to not be able to sleep, to be riddled with anxiety and riddled with fear and depression. They once they are able to find that healing zone and they do have a great night's rest, a good night's rest, I think they would all tell you can't put a price on that.
Huge. It's like one of the first questions I ask a new patient. It's like, okay, I understand what you got going on. How are you sleeping?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because when you're tired and you're fatigued, you can't focus. You can't deal with stuff.
Man. And everything just gets worse because you're already tired.
And I've heard this from many professionals. Sleep over diet and exercise has more of an effect on your health. It's probably the most influential thing on your health.
So diet and exercise fall under your quality of sleep.
Correct.
When it comes to your physical and mental health.
Correct.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that makes sense, man. I mean, if you talk about the human body, that's when we heal and grow, is while we're sleeping. When you talk about your mental health and when you talk about what it's like to have quality sleep. Some people say, oh, I slept really good last night. I took a pill and I slept for like 8 hours. And I'm like, I'm not saying that it's not good that you slept for 8 hours. It's great that you slept for 8 hours, but there's
a lot more to it.
A lot of times the medications, and in my experience, I didn't get the best quality sleep. Yes, I slept for 8 hours, but I didn't really get a refilling, rejuvenating sleep.
There's a difference between being knocked out for 8 hours and actually going through the cycle, like the 5 or 6.
There's
like the actual
sedated.
cycles of sleep.
Yeah. You were sedated.
Yeah, absolutely. Like somebody in a coma doesn't wake up after 3 years like, oh man, I feel great.
It's the best nap of my life.
I don't really think that happens.
It doesn't work like that.
No, it doesn't work like that.
It's got to be good quality REM sleep. Otherwise, you just feel groggy the next day.
Are there some so Dennis, are there some websites that you may recommend that might have some content or some guided content, some maybe little steps, tips, or tricks on to be able to kind of give somebody some information? Maybe they are interested in either seeking some type of guided meditation or some type of help aside from the applications, Better Health and Calm. Are there some Facebook groups that you kind of subscribe to or apply to, or some type of websites where people can go kind of anonymously?
There's a lot of support groups on social media. I mean, all you got to do is basically enter in the search thread whatever situation or symptom you may be exhibiting, and I can guarantee you there's a support group out there for it.
Really?
Whether it's depression, anxiety, PTSD, bipolar, personality disorders, it's out there. I mean, Facebook's a great resource for that.
Yeah. So let's just chat about the Facebook platform. So you're just saying, so for example, on Facebook, if you were dealing with different types of separation anxiety, or you had something going on with work stress, or you had something going on with I'm a new father, you can type that into the search, and there will be groups that come up. Gotcha.
Absolutely, and that's something that costs nothing.
Yeah, and that's
at least it'll give you an idea of where to start.
Yeah, it's free. And that's a great place to start because you can do it on your own time. You can do it on your own accord, and it's free. You can do it at any time, and that's just a good place to get started. And I think that's the big thing that people struggle with, and I used to struggle with that, is just getting started. Because once you get started, I think you realize that it wasn't as big of a mountain to climb as you thought it was.
Right. When you realize you're not alone in this, it's kind of, a relief to realize that there's other people going through the same stuff. You're not unique in this problem. You're unique in how you may be dealing with it or what may have caused it, but you're not alone.
Sure. Yeah, and like Matt McIver said, community is beautiful. So to be able to find those helping hands out there, those people that have experienced something similar that may be able to share it with you and help you manage it. This is what worked for me. This is what worked for me. This is what worked for me. It's like, okay, those are not bad ideas. Let me try some of those. And you may discover your own cocktail of healing. Well, then you're able to help and coach other people. This is what worked for me. This is what I did. And I think it's very interesting to have such a massive amount of knowledge available at our fingertips through one social media platform to assist in our mental health. Now, granted, it's a tool, so there will also be websites that do not assist in your mental health. So like Dennis said, look at them, research them, go through them, vet them.
Find out
consider
what
your sources
for you.
Yeah, consider your sources. Absolutely. I'm
not a huge fan of like WebMD. WebMD's got a lot of good stuff on it. Don't get me wrong. It's good for screening tools. You spend too much time on the rabbit hole of WebMD, though, you're going to think you got everything wrong with you.
Yeah, it's not. Oh, my big toe hurts. Oh, this is what's wrong with you. You have some incurable disease that's only been found in 100 billion people over the last however many years.
You start off, you think you got an endometrial, you think you got prostate cancer. It's not always connected. Yeah.
Wait a minute. My big toe hurts. Crap. That's it. Lauren says they have great divorce and new life groups, usually local to your area too, with meetups if you want. And I'm sure they have virtual meetups as well. But sometimes it's nice to have people in the community, in the local community. And there is something to be said about the shared energy of people in person.
Another resource that is community based that a lot of places get overlooked. Check with your public library system, because usually that's a meeting area for a lot of different support groups.
That's very interesting. I didn't even
Public
think
libraries do it. Check with your local hospitals. Sometimes there's support groups do that too. Now,
or
granted,
at least paperwork or
social
pamphlets.
distance, but
Sure.
At least give you some ideas of where there are some meetings, whether in person or virtual.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, and you bring up some really good points, and over and over and over again, we're reinforcing the fact that everybody has the ability to do something.
Yes.
Everybody has the ability to, even the smallest thing is doing something. A little bit of research, downloading an application, going to your library, just giving them a phone call,
and
asking them if they have this available.
It may not even work. It may not even help you one little bit, but at least you don't need to do that.
Yeah, 100%. You
can do something.
Yeah.
Just try.
It's like the invention of the light bulb. Like I didn't fail 299 times. I found 299 things that didn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah, there
I
you go.
crossed all those off my list.
And all you needed was one that worked.
Yep.
Yeah.
And here we are. welcome to 2021. I still think Tesla should have won, but whatever. We'll get into that later. That's so, dude, Dennis, thank you so much for joining us, man.
My pleasure.
We appreciate you taking some time and sharing, because we all know you're the mad scientist from Maryland, getting crazy and whipping it up in the kitchen on Friday nights with these crazy dudes. But I really think it was right. I really did think it was very healthy for people to also understand that you have a personal experience, a professional experience, and education and knowledge and certifications behind managing and coaching people when it comes to their mental health and their path to healing. I think it's a very, very important thing for people to also recognize, because since they're cool, the great Commodore and I want people to also understand that you are a fantastic resource for knowledge and assistance. To reach out to. Feel comfortable reaching out to us. Email us, kitchenkillaz@gmail.com. We keep everything between us, and if there's anything we can do to help, anything, just let us know, even if it's pointing you in the right direction. What works for us, maybe it'll work for you. If it doesn't, we'll try something else and let you know then too.
But if a friend needs help, you help them.
Yeah, if a friend needs help, you help them. That's it, man. A huge shout out to Dennis Lynn Floyd. Thank you, Dennis. I like it. Thank you, Dennis. Lauren Edinger, thank you, Dennis. So most certainly, Dennis, we really appreciate you hanging out. Excited to see you on Friday night, dude. It's going to be a great time. I'm really looking forward to it.
Let me know what I'm baking, bro.
Will do. I like this guy. Oh, yeah. Whatever it is, it's 420 degrees. But we do have the great Commodore and I do have a song for you guys tonight. Of course, we normally wrap that up right after our wrap up, but we've had the great mad scientist joining us. So you guys can find him online. You can Google Best Nurse Practitioner in Leesburg.
Advanced Behavioral Health.
I was close. Same letters. Find him online. You can leave him a review as well, and you could say, listen, Dennis Cutter's a fantastic individual with an incredible beard and the ability to help so many people at so many different times change the face of the planet and how it works in a positive way. We would love for you to do that.
While changing the Commodore's belly in a good way.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the contents and happiness, the level of happiness that is received by the things that he eats.
Cherry cheesecake.
Okay.
Listen, between him and Tara Dunn Cutter, between her, I think she actually put it over the top. She's like, yo, cherry cheesecake.
We talked about cherry cheesecake the last time we were there.
Listen, man, you're manipulating. There's some conspiracy going on here. I don't know how I feel about it.
I'm gonna need your help here. Or maybe I don't. Maybe he already decided.
Oh man,
cherry cheesecake.
Yeah. I mean, whatever it is going to be awesome. I've had the cherry cheesecake, and it is in fact awesome.
It's the best.
Yeah. So what I'm thinking is maybe I can send you over what Orlando Foodie Girl's cooking up.
Perfect.
And maybe maybe cherry cheesecake will work perfectly for that night. But maybe something.
I did buy a new springform pan, so.
Oh boy, I don't know what that means.
You know what you
I
make
hope
with
it
spring?
means cherry cheesecake.
It's the one with the spring on the side of it, where you crack the spring and it opens up, and then you can take the form off of the cake. That's what it is, right, Dennis?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, bingo bongo.
And you use that to make cheesecake.
Bingo.
Okay. All right.
That's all. That's all
Put
they really
it all
needed.
together for me.
That's all. Okay, Tara. Listen, we're gonna fight.
She's in the next room already planning what I'm doing this weekend.
Oh yeah, she's about to barricade the door if you don't agree to it live
Actually,
online.
She went to Publix already and got all the
She's
stuff.
already got everything. She's ready to go.
Thank you, Tara.
She's like, you know what? You should
so
practice
awesome.
a cherry cheesecake before Friday's cherry cheesecake, just to make sure.
I can make two. It's okay.
Just
One
you
for the Commodore.
You dangerous, because none of that's making it home. So you might want to make two, Dennis, because I don't think the Commodore is going to let any of it leave Orlando Foodie Girl's house.
I know to make a small one to put aside to leave at home.
Yeah, see, that's a smart man right there, everybody. That
If
would
she's
help
not
you.
coming with me, she gets the sample before we go someplace else.
That's smart, Terry. You hear what's going on. So I'm just saying, it's okay. You're getting your cherry cheesecake. Let the mad
control.
scientist out of his office, please.
Tara, if he makes cherry cheesecake, when he makes cherry cheesecake, you're gonna have to come too.
She shows up at all the cherry cheesecakes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
she shows
that'll-
up at all
I
the
think
cherry
that'll draw
cheesecakes.
her in. What do you think, Dennis?
Yeah.
Possibly. But
Yeah,
she's
we're
got
gonna
plans with
find
her mama that day. So
That's right.
maybe.
Bring the mom. You guys can message us here at facebook.com/KitchenKillaz. Email us kitchenkillaz@gmail.com. Of course, follow us on all these cool places. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. I got to put this up because Tara just messaged me and she said if I don't put this right here up again, I'm in trouble. I don't want to be in trouble or carry any kind of debt to Tara Duncutter. Not the person you want to owe anything
Cherry
to.
cheesecake for sure.
Shelly said she's driving all the way from Texas. Fantastic. That's excellent. That's exactly what she said. Don't worry about it. That's precisely what she said. Don't look at the comment. And also, join our Patreon for as little as $5 a month for extra exciting extras and sneak peeks. That's very true. Then Tara Duncutter is offering quality control for the cheesecake, I imagine, to make sure it's good.
And
Yeah.
a side note, I looked up toe toe pain, it's brain cancer.
Toe pain?
Yeah, my toe hurts.
Oh, toe pain.
Yeah.
You got brain cancer.
That's what,
Thanks, WebMD.
That's what WebMD says.
Appreciate it. Shelly
That's
Wheeler
T-Pain's
says,
little brother.
yeah, to sweeten the deal. She's so funny. I miss Shelly. And again, a huge thank you to all of our sponsors, Castledor Studios, Wind Edge Incorporated, oh yeah, baby, EMS Mobile Detailing, Lakeland Barbecue Ice Cream Company, and Tornatori's Cafe and Pizzeria. Huge shout out to Hanging with Web Show for hosting us last Friday. We had a really fun time, guys. Thank you so much. We got to test out some new equipment, which is always dangerous, but they've always been very open to like trying new stuff in real time. Which is kind of seems like our whole crew, which we're going to probably be doing a lot of this Friday. So you can find us along with the Mad Scientist and Orlando Foodie Girl partying up for our album release party.
We're gonna do
We
it!
do have a very limited amount of space. So if you guys are interested in joining us for Friday night's show, please reach out to us and let us know because those seats are going to fill up fast virtual because we don't sit down anyway.
We do not.
We don't.
I don't want to sit down.
Now, who sits down? Nobody sits down. Are you ready to rock and roll, sir?
Yes, sir.
Sweet, my man. You are unmuted. Let's see. There's effects.
I think we landed on 91 last time.
Yeah, I think I'm going to try this one. See how that feels. You want to try that one?
Let's do that.
All right, baby. Well, Mad Scientist, we're going to let you listen to this one from the green room. So I know you like to dance to this song, and you don't want people to see you dancing, but you can find the Mad Scientist and his Patreon. He also has an OnlyFans for top tier. You can watch the Mad Scientist dance, which I'm really excited about.
George!
No one wants to see that.
Everybody wants to see that. Don't lie. Mad Scientist, thank you so much for joining us, man. We'll talk to you soon, brother. Stay out of trouble. We'll be in touch, and we'll talk Friday. We're going to talk about Friday soon because I'm excited about this cherry cheesecake that the Commodore wants you to create. That he's going to create. Going to create.
There you go.
I love it. All right, guys. Here's a song called Come Back to Me. I hope you guys are having a really great night. Thank you for spending some time with us. My name is Billy Floyd, and that is...
The Commodore.
We are the KitchenKillaz from Orlando, Florida, classified as a touring acoustic duo, crashing kids around the country. Do it every Friday. We do it
For free.
That's right, baby, and this is called Come Back to Me. I hope you guys are digging your Monday. Let's do that one again. You ready? I want you to nail that harmonic. It sounds so good. Come back to me, leave it all behind. Come with me and find some peace. Roll back to me, yeah. Forgive me for my sins. Let's let each other in and see. And won't you fold me? Won't you set my spirit free? Because there's no place I would rather be. Please fold me. Won't you shock this heart and heart alive to be? Won't you come back to me? Crawl into my life, run into the night with me. Walk back to me, yeah. Let go of that line, dive into the night and see. And won't you fold me? Won't you shock this heart and heart alive to be? Won't you fold me? Won't you set my spirit free? Because there's no place I would rather be. The beauty that could be a part of this new love, a brand new start, a way for us to turn a page and leave the past behind. Just take my hand, let's make a stand and burn a fire to light this land and build a house from loving blocks of life. We will see we're meant to be and stand against a tragedy. The right to life without you by my side. A love will light, a ring of fire to burn that doubt inside our minds. A scene from stars from way beyond our skies. Come back to me. Won't you come back to me? Leave it all behind. Come with me and find some peace. Grow back to me, yeah. Forgive me for my sins. Let's let each other in and see. And won't you fall to me? Won't you set my spirit free? Because there's no place I would rather be. Please fall to me. Won't you shock this heart and heart alive to be? Won't you come back to me? Groovy, baby. Groovy. Let's bring the mad scientist back in. I like this.
Hey,
guy.
mad scientist.
Hey guys.
How are you?
Dude, man, thanks for hanging out, dude. Appreciate that. Little come back to me. Hope you guys dug that one, man. We appreciate that.
I dug it.
Yeah, man. Solo sounded great, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, nice and tight. I think my favorite part is the very end.
Tight
That
like a
come
tiger.
back to me. You know, just acapella. I like acapella stuff. You know that.
Yeah.
You know that.
I know.
So we definitely appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much for hanging. Oh, whoa, what up, George? I thought I heard you say George earlier.
I did.
I thought so. What's up, George? Great to see you. George was our guest last Monday. Fantastic musician, absolutely incredible entertainer, and some incredible freaking stories, bro. Like, I really liked having George on the show last Monday. Hi, keep rocking. Magic Festival friends, sending supermates. Thank you very much. George spent a lot of time in the music industry. He's recorded and produced a lot of stuff. So that opinion right there, that comes with a lot of weight.
Yep.
We definitely appreciate that, man. Thank you very
so
much. Shelley Wheeler. Yeah, I sing a lot with my eyes closed, so I don't get to see any of this stuff. Harmonizing with an S. In the office, fantastic. Got a little fire. Lauren Edinger's crying all over the community chat, which is fantastic. I'm glad we can move people emotionally with our music, sir. Not catching all the comments yet. Getting there. Oh yeah, George's coming up, baby. That's right. Play it again. Hey, calm down, Lauren Edinger. Coke in back anytime. What? Oh, come on back
Are
anytime.
you at a rock concert?
Okay, yeah, Coke in the back. What's going on here? It's not after 9:30.
Well, that kind of party, Kyle.
That's a different kind of party. Huge shout out. Thank you so much, George, for joining us. Dennis, thank you so much for joining us tonight, man. We really dig it.
Thank you, Dennis.
We appreciate you spending some time with us and even hanging out for a little song. We definitely dig that, man. Thank you very much, man. That was called Come Back to Me. We actually debuted that 2 Fridays ago at the Mad Scientist house.
Yep, on January 1st.
January 1st. That's how we rung in our new year. And the Mad Scientist said something
We got
last
another
night,
one
which was
coming.
really cool. He said what you do in the beginning of the year is what sets the pace for the rest of it. And I thought that carried a lot of weight, man. So start your year strong, guys. Like, we're still in the first 2 weeks of January. A huge shout out to everybody that is that's having a fantastic year, and a huge shout out to everybody that's looking forward to a fantastic year, and that should be all of us, because 2021 is going to be a good one if we want it to be.
I want it to be.
Yeah.
Guess what? February 5th.
Yeah.
We got another one dropping.
5th.
February 5th.
Boom. Shabby.
That's a couple Fridays away.
Yep. We're getting there, baby.
Oh, yeah.
We're getting there.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Less than 3 weeks away. New song from the KitchenKillaz, man.
That's a new song sound.
It's evolving.
Evolution.
It's
With
evolving.
the new song
progress.
sound?
Yeah.
That's like at the beginning of the show, the boom, doom, 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 doom. I want to find a way we can play that song and unmute our microphones so they can like hear our multi-track.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Stuff. Yes, we got to be able to do that. It's crazy.
That's so much fun.
We'll talk to you guys soon. Stay out of trouble. Dennis, we'll talk to you soon, my man. I'll message you shortly after that with the unlock passcode for Lauren Edinger's OnlyFans account. She just sent it to me, which is really cool. Then we'll post it on our website.
She sent it to me too.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's not bad. It's called Only Nudes, but it's noodles, Noods. She's a fantastic chef, so she cooks some really good food. So onlynudes.com/werewomancosplay. Yeah, it's fantastic. It's going to be really good. Shelly actually sent me the passcode, so I think Lauren sent it to her first. I didn't mean to throw you under the bus there, Shelly, but now we all have it. Only Nudes, Noods, where she cooks different types of pasta from all over the world. Lasagna, baked ziti.
We're gonna go.
Different kinds of noodles. Different things,
Guys, don't forget to vote tomorrow.
Rigatonis,
Tomorrow at noon.
elbow,
Vote for your favorite
little
songs.
bendy elbow ones, like all the different kinds of ZDs,
Bye everybody.
all that good stuff.
Only Nudes.
Yeah, Only Nudes. That's right. Onlynudes.com/